Hi, folks. Welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Did you guys watch that press or whatever they're calling it, press conference last night? Yeah, the one that the guy that is supposedly living in the White House did. Man, I didn't watch the whole thing, but I did watch some of it, especially the questions. And amazingly, he lasted like almost 2 hours, I guess. But boy, I kind of think they probably wish they just had not done it. Some of the stuff that he said, whether it was either just ridiculous, laughable, or man, it could get us into some hot water. One of the funniest things I thought he said, the first question he answered, if you didn't watch it, reporter was asking about, basically all the failures and all the stuff that's happened over the past year, all the bad stuff. And he, did he think that he failed basically in his first year of office? And he said, no, he felt like he exceeded expectations. I saw one person comment say, well, my expectations was that he wasn't going to even live through the first year of presidency and last. So I guess he did exceed those expectations. Anyways, if you didn't hear the things that he said about Russia and the Ukrainian whole deal, I would be surprised at this point if Russia did not invade Ukraine, just based on what the president said at this press conference. It seemed to go ahead and give him the green light, to go ahead and invade. In fact, the Ukrainian government officials said that. I mean, their own words, it said that they felt like Biden's answers on some of these questions was basically giving Putin a green light to invade them. Anyways, I'm telling you, it was quite the ordeal, at least what I watched. And the newspeak, talking about how great the country is and how much, it's the best year of any president and first year in office and all this kind of stuff that was just such a twisting and perversion of the truth. It's just insane. Before I get started with the actual video, because I want to get into some other stuff, I mentioned yesterday that we are having our local meeting. We had to skip December, and we're doing it on January 30th, which is the last Sunday of this month. It's like 10 days away. For those of you that's never come, if you're a regular, if you made it before, it's the same time and same place, just on January 30th. Basically all you need to know. For any new people that want to join us, it is open to the public. There is no charge to come there. We always have snacks and finger foods and the refreshments, things like that. If you want to participate in bringing some of those, let me know, so we can, figure that out. But just coming to the event is open to anyone. It's a very large building. It's extremely family friendly. And in fact, the vast majority of everyone that comes is our families. Lots of kids there playing and stuff like that. There's a lot of outdoor space too. There's a park, but the weather, it's the end of January. That may not happen this time. Few other things. It's in Missouri, okay? In the Ozarks. People always asking where. So we're in Missouri. It's in the Ozarks. And the closest I'll give you the information is it's in Texas County, Missouri, which is kind of the central part of the Missouri Ozarks. If you want further details, you'll need to email me and I'll give you those. But if you want to come, please do. We typically average between 200 and 300 people at these meetings. And the number one focus on the meetings are for people to just meet each other, people to make connections. And that has happened a lot at our meetings. People will come to the meetings and find out that, the person sitting next to him lives just a few miles away, and so they're able to connect and start building that kind of connection with each other. And so that's the main focus. We do have speakers, and we talk about certain things in the preparedness and homesteading realm, but that's the main focus. Anyway, so I just thought I would mention that again. What I wanted to get to is some great news, folks. Really great news. Finally, the fact checkers, and you know, these fact checkers, I mean, no one really knows who the fact checkers are. It's kind of like these people that come up with, credit ratings for people. No one really knows who they are. No one really knows how they come up with it. But apparently everyone believes in it. Same way with the fact checkers. We don't know really who they are and what they're doing. It's just, they're fact checkers and we're supposed to accept that. But they came out that, this whole conspiracy that the World Economic Forum is, got this overall plan to globally reset the world, and they call it the Great Reset, and it's some nefarious plan to radically change how we live and everything. That's fake. It's fake news. It's some ridiculous conspiracy. The fact checkers have said that. And so we just have to believe it. I mean, it doesn't matter that on the World Economic Forum's page, website, their YouTube channel, and virtually everything they've ever put out in the last 2 years says the Great Reset all over it. It doesn't matter that the chairman of the World Economic Forum wrote a book called The Great Reset. It doesn't matter that all their commercial little infomercial public service announcements and stuff say the Great Reset all over it. It doesn't matter that in the vast majority of the speeches that are being done at the World Economic Forum by its leadership, they mention resetting and the Great Reset and that we must reset. I mean, that doesn't matter. All that matters is that you peasants know that the all-knowing fact checkers have said it's fake. It's a conspiracy theory, so ignore it. Ignore what they're doing. Ignore what everyone is saying, that it's all fake, because they said so. The fact is that the Great Reset and the Great Reset fits right with, the Agenda 2030 and Agenda 2050, Agenda 21, these are all United Nations plans for the future and stuff. Well, the Great Reset's just all part of it. In fact, I've said that I feel that the Great Reset is all those agendas, but just wrapped up in a nice, pretty little bow. They've taken all that, these plans and agendas for, global domination, basically, and they've made it look pretty, and they've wrapped it up and put a nice little bow on it, and that's the Great Reset. This stuff it's not going to happen, folks. I mean, it's not going to happen. It is happening. It has happened, and this is why one of the reasons why I get on here and talk is that we have to get prepared for this, and we have to know what's going on so that we can prepare accordingly. There's a lot of speculation over the real, why they're doing it and what's really going on. And of course, it's way too much to go into in just this video. I mean, obviously, the simplest, easiest answer is just global domination. They want to control. They want to control people. I don't believe it has anything to do with owning and acquiring everything. I mean, most of these people that are in it. In fact, I remember reading a reporter a year or two, I think it was 2 years ago, mainstream news reporter, stating that the World Economic Forum membership is the 1% of the elite population. That's what it is. If you sit there and you look through the list, that is the upper crust 1%. So they already own everything. It's not about, acquisition of property and all that kind of stuff. It's acquisition of you. It's acquisition of your mind, of your thoughts, of your abilities, your soul. I mean, that's what they want. They want to control us. And this is their way of doing it, through all their different little programs and plans. And this health crisis for the last 2 years has certainly been part of it. I mean, they've pretty much been open about that, that they have to take advantage of, this pandemic and to reset, our society. And those are almost verbatim the words that some of these people are using. There's a lot of, the stuff that I've been talking about over the past week, it fits right in with this, talking about the volcano, and food shortages and inflation, increasing food prices, and the possibility of a very near or at famine level food shortages over the next year, 2, 3 years, because of all the different things: shortages, supply chains, inflation, and volcanic eruptions and grand solar minimums. You add it all together, and even if one of those things isn't enough, or two of those things isn't enough to cause it, when you start adding it all together, well, it's becomes much more of a certainty. And if you look at how the Great Reset plan is and the World Economic Plan is, I think a lot of it is being done because they know that this is going to happen. Whether they're in control of it happening or not almost doesn't even matter. Some of it I believe they are, but it doesn't even really matter. They know it's going to happen. And so they set this plan into motion to kind of keep themselves in power, and to in the end exert even more control, because in disaster and in panic and in fear, typically people will hand over more rights so that they can be saved and so that they can be taken care of. And this is something that's happened throughout history over and over again. And so once again, we have this leadership doing this. And while the news media certainly doesn't talk about this, and in fact a lot of the YouTube channels and stuff that talk about this kind of stuff haven't really been talking about it much lately, because it's kind of gotten cold on the news cycle. But they're meeting now. I mean, the World Economic Forum, their Davos meeting that they meet every year, it's going on right now. And I've watched some of it. I've watched, some of the videos, and it, just to hear them talk, they sound pretty confident that their plan is happening pretty much on schedule, and that they're going to keep pushing it, and this is what's going to happen, and people are just going to have to deal with it. Bill Gates was speaking, I think it was yesterday or the day before, about that there'll be more of these health crises, global health crises, but the big crisis, is the Earth getting a little too warm and all that kind of stuff, and climate change, and so we got to combat that too. And that's the next global health crisis, is the climate changing, and it is changing. We're going through a grand solar minimum. The Earth's magnetic field is weakening, all that kind of stuff, and it does cause things to change. So what does that mean for us little peons, the ones that the people at the World Economic Forum look at as ants, because that's basically what they do. Well, our options are pretty simple. I mean, we give in, we capitulate to their demands. We, whatever they are, eat bugs and green slime stuff because there's not going to be any food. That's basically what they say. Here, take this, genetically modified, lab created, food, and put this in your body, and you're not going to own anything, and you're going to live in a little tiny box in the city, in a mega high rise in these mega cities. You're not going to have any freedoms, basically, but your life will be blissful, okay? It'll be this perfect utopian, even though you won't have any of your own freedoms. Or your options are to hopefully have already started, but if not, start today, preparing to take care of yourself, to not be part of that. And then that's going to mean you're going to have to be prepared, and you're going to have to raise your own food, and you're going to have to learn how to take care of yourself and do things on your own, and very possibly do things outside of the modern world. We don't know that for certain, but it's a strong possibility that the only way to avoid their plan and avoid being a victim of their plan is to live outside of this modern technology that we have today. And so plan, do that, train, learn how to do this kind of stuff. There are many people doing it. I mean, this channel that I do, the listeners, that's full of them. and on other channels. That's the people that watch them. That's what they're doing. They're learning how to do that kind of stuff. They're figuring out how to be prepared. They're expanding their knowledge. They're expanding their psychological abilities to survive, because as a species, as a people, as a modern world, we've kind of lost that because we've lived in such, luxurious, safe environments for so long. We've kind of forgotten that. And so that's what people are doing right now. They're waking up. They're preparing. They're preparing for a disaster of some sort, whether it's natural, unnatural, man-made, or just a disaster, which could just simply mean the loss of your own personal liberties and a complete takeover, whatever it is. And we're preparing for that because pretty much the handwriting's on the wall. I mean, it's every day we're taking a step closer to that. And so continue to prepare, continue to get ready. If you're able to come to this meeting, please do so. Occasionally I hear about other places having similar type meetings, and I promote them on here or mention them. If you're having one wherever and you'd like me to mention it here on the channel to kind of help draw people into your meetings, certainly let me know and give me a couple of weeks or something ahead of time so that I can mention it and promote it here on the channel, and I'd be very happy to do so. All right, folks, thank you all for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.